Corey, I've been thinking about taking one of them positions they've been offering me.
Could you?
I don't know why I couldn't take off a couple of years anyway.
Do you think you could leave the movement for that long?
Oh, sure. I mean, there's Andy. He's coming along fine, and Ralph, of course. But you know what I was really thinking about? You know, I've never been home when our last 3 babies were born. Unless I do something, I'm gonna miss their childhood. I'm gonna miss it forever. Put that thing out of my face. Now, Bernard, put it on Bunny, the birthday girl. Now, go on. He gonna break that camera. That costs too much money. Go on, take it. It's her party. Go on. Lord have mercy.
No.
But Martin never was able to accept a position as pastor. There was Watts, and there was Vietnam.
We want to welcome you. Chicago is a big town. It likes to welcome big people. And you're one of the biggest. We welcome Martin Luther King, Nobel Prize winner, who fights for the betterment of America. All right-thinking people share his views. And we have a whole schedule for you. A march through the loop to the lakefront, an appearance on the Today Show.
Dr. King didn't come here just to make appearances this time. He came here to talk about jobs and housing, schools.
The schools and housing in Chicago is the best for blacks than any city in the United States.
How much you want for this?
$90 a month.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Make up your mind. You won't find anything else at any better rates.
I'll take it.
place pays $90 a month unfurnished.
Mommy, it smells here.
Yoki, we're going to live here for a while. Most of our people live just this way.
You didn't tell me Martin Luther King was in the building.
We're gonna live here.
Well, I'll talk to the landlord. He'll get some paint, new furniture, and fix it up a little.
No. We'll take it just as it is. Just as it is.
This way, gentlemen. Right over here. No, you want to get a picture of that?
Wait.
There, take a picture of that right over there. I'm sure you want to have a picture of this right here. Get a picture right over here by this window.
This is our new home.
It's nice of you to visit me. I don't usually get such a distinguished visitor.
And I'm here to ask you to stop telling our people to burn down their own neighborhoods.
That's the last thing I'd do. They're finding the manhood out there.
And I've watched you for a long time. What else do you have to offer besides hate?
Hate is something to have. Don't you think it's about time our people had hate?
Where does it take them?
It takes them to reality. It lets them know who the enemy is.
So we're no better than they are. They hate, we hate. They use bombs, we use bombs.
Who claimed we're any better? You're a racist. You've showed great courage. You've done more to desegregate this country than any man who's ever lived. But you see, it didn't cost this country to integrate the lunch counters and buses and toilets. It didn't cost this country to guarantee the right to vote. But to end the poverty for black people in this country and give them a chance to catch up will cost billions and billions of dollars. And somehow I don't see that being done by appealing to their conscience.
We'll find a way. It'll be nonviolent.
You still believe in the white man, don't you?
I have no choice but to believe in him.
I have a choice. I don't expect him to love me. I don't want his love. I court his hatred. I want no part of his society, no part of his values.
The dreary truth about the white man is that he is as flawed as everybody else. But not only do I object to you on moral grounds, I object to what you're doing on tactical grounds. If it came down to a show of arms, we are only 10% of the population. You're advocating suicide.
Maybe, but it's better than living like this.
Oh, there is something else. There's nonviolent resistance.
Are you still talking about Gandhi? You are not Gandhi. You're a middle-class Southern preacher's son.
What I am isn't important. Why don't you use your charisma, your brilliance, to help our people live and not die?
Because they hurt us too much. Because there's no living with him. Because he'll lie and deceive us in the end.
The final truth isn't that you hate the white man. You see, you hate being black. You can't see beyond your own personal rejection.
This country respects violence. Sometimes I think it's the only thing that it respects. You hold on to your position, you get discredited by your own people. Martin, I can help those demonstrations in Chicago succeed. Modify your stance on nonviolence. We'll appear nationally together. It's the best thing for our people.
I can't.
At least we have one thing in common. We're both dead men. I love you. You may not believe it, but it's true. I love you. You're a glorious fool.
You Dr. King?
Never mind about that. Now, just who can I play with? I want to play with the best player.
That's me, Dr. Hey, no, it's me.
Don't make up your mind. Let's walk.
You take it, friend.
Stand up, Godfrey.
$10,000 with Dr. King.
All right.
Give me some of that money. I believe the doctor is a good pool player.
We're making progress. We've put on 70 new housing inspectors, and we've come up with a list of 125 housing violations. We're going to prosecute those violators.
These aren't the real offenders. They're just small landlords.
Chicago has lasted for a long time. It's a tough city. You're not going to change it overnight.
We found over the long haul, unless it is changed overnight, it'll never be changed.
We agree with all of your aims, Dr. King. It's just a matter of the art of the possible. We represent our constituents, and our constituents are troubled by the demands you're making.
Which demands? Minimum wages, school desegregation, the dispersal of blacks from concentrated areas, the same rental conditions as anybody else?
As I say, we agree with you, but you know what it is? There is talk around town among white workers that the blacks have been getting too much. And that they'll soon have their jobs.
But that's because they are cynical people in politics and the press that prey on people's fears that have no foundation. I suppose we have no choice but to recruit as many demonstrators as we can to fill the jails and boycott businesses that discriminate against blacks.
I wouldn't do that. This isn't Birmingham or Selma. You haven't been in Chicago before. There's a certain tradition here. It was the home of Al Capone for years. You know?
What is it now? Dinner's just ready.
May I come in?
Of course.
Hello, Martin.
Hello, B.
Will you stay for dinner?
Oh, I just have a few minutes. I have to go to this meeting at the NAACP.
You better eat. You need your strength.
Sandy, I'm gonna jump off a cliff.
What are you going to do now? Maybe I can stop you.
Come out against Vietnam.
That's jumping off the cliff.
Somebody has to speak out against it.
As long as you know what it means.
How have you been, Stan?
Fine.
Forgive me.
There's nothing to forgive.
No, I should have kept you on, no matter what.
It was my suggestion that I go.
I need you.
What about the FBI?
I want you to be my friend again.
I always was, Martin.
Well, then let somebody try to make something out of it.
Do you know what you are doing?
Oh, we're just here for the weekend, Dad. Let's enjoy our dinner.
But he's got to know what he's doing.
A black man does not venture out and give advice on foreign policy.
I've never thought of myself as just a black leader. Perhaps I should, but I can't.
They can frame you. They can destroy you.
Man, they've done so much already.
Let him enjoy his dinner, King.
I am frightened. I'm frightened.
Do you know what you're doing? You're going to destroy the movement.
Lyndon Johnson is the best friend Negroes has ever had.
All he has to do is just hear you going to make a statement like that.
Everything. Everything we've worked for this past 8 years, everything people have died for, will all go out the window for the sake of a gesture that will do no good. You can't fight with the most powerful man in the world and win. If I thought it would do any good, I would be with you, but it won't do any good.
How can you say that? I mean, every day you see black boys coming home mutilated, mentally and physically. Every night on your television set, you see the destruction of hundreds of thousands of children with napalm. But even if it wasn't for black boys and brown babies, even if it was only for white people, I would still speak out.
You always have been a small-time preacher. You have delusions of grandeur.
Wally.
All the funds for black people are going to be tied up and destroyed. Do you understand that? All this talk about underfed children and corruption of the system. You eat all right. If anything, you're overfed.
Look at what's happening to us. Look at what's happening right in this room. Can't you make him understand what he's doing?
I've tried. Haven't you heard me try? He knows the consequences. He knows them better than anyone else.
Albert Einstein said, the world is too dangerous to live in. Not because of the people who do evil, but because of the people who sit and let it happen. I've come out tonight to break my silence about the war in Vietnam.
King, speaking out against the Vietnam War, allowed us to make our greatest efforts to take him off his pedestal. We were given the green light on every project that we had had on the back burner for years. The monographs that Robert Kennedy had recalled were circulated again. We gave copies of them to friendly newspapermen. People don't realize how many strong contacts we have on even the most so-called liberal newspapers. We forged letters in King's handwriting saying that the Southern Christian Leadership Conference was being investigated by the Internal Revenue Service for funds that were suspected of being misappropriated. Sanitize it, please. I don't want any FBI prints on it. It's a dirty, rough business, destroying someone's family life. It's dangerous, too. Mail it from Miami.
What is it?
You don't want to know what it is.
This came in the mail. Doesn't have any name on the envelope. It's a tape. Should I throw it away? Here's something.
What is it?
King, you are a fraud.
Go on.
There's only one thing left for you to do. You know what it is. You are done. There's but one way out for you. You better take it before your filthy, fraudulent self is bared to the nation. Should I play it?
No. Where's Martin?
I think he's at the office.
Ask him to come in.
Are you listening to me now? I know you planted microphones. I found them before. Are you waiting to see what I'm going to do? Or are you waiting to see if I'm going to cry?
Have you played it? No. Then play it.
I don't want to listen to it.
Corey, shall I tell you the truth about the rumors?
No. You don't have to tell me anything. Just put your arms around me. All I know is that you're the most wonderful man I've ever known in my life. And that you've been a wonderful husband and father to the kids.
Amelia suffers so much. I'm never at home. Me and the kids have had to live under such danger.
Martin, do you think I would have traded my life for anything? I can't tell you what it's been like living all this time with you. Even the hard times, even the worst of them. You've taught me what being alive is. It isn't being afraid to love somebody. Oh, Martin, we'll be all right, won't we?
Yes.
Son?
What's the matter? Can I do something for you? I'll get someone else to preach a sermon for today.
No. No, dear.
I'll be all right.
You know, every now and then, I think about my own death. I don't think about it in a morbid sense. But like anybody, every now and then I ask myself what it is I would want said. And if any of you are around when I have to meet that day, tell them I don't want a long funeral. Just tell them not to talk too long. Tell them not to mention that I have a Nobel Peace Prize that isn't important. Tell them not to mention where I went to school. But I'd like for somebody to mention on that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to give his life serving others. I'd like for somebody to say that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to love somebody. I want you to be able to say that day that I was right on the war question. I want you to be able to say that I did try to feed the hungry. I want you to be able to say that day that I did try in my life to clothe the naked. That I did try in my life to visit those that were in prison. Yes, if you want to call me a drum major, call me a drum major for justice. Call me a drum major for peace, and all the other shallow things will not matter. I won't have any money to leave behind. I won't have any of the fine and luxurious things of life to leave behind, but I just want to leave a committed life behind. Oh, if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, if I can show somebody that is traveling wrong within my living, will not be in vain.
Mrs. King is here.
I'm busy right now.
Sure you don't have a moment to see me, Damon?
It's all right. Please.
I have your article on Martin.
I didn't want to write that. I had to.
You had to? You had to say that Martin's ego was completely out of bound? And that he could never again be trusted to lead the black movement?
Yes. And I believe that. I have a great affection for Martin. As much affection as any man I've ever met. But he's done the movement a great harm. A harm it may never recover from.
Why?
He's alienated Johnson. He's cut off funds for our people. He's Put a slur on black patriotism?
You don't believe that.
Yes, I do believe that. Coretta, if black people are to be enfranchised, they must participate in our nation's crisis just like any other American. This is a necessary war for black people as well as for white people.
You don't believe that for one moment. Damon, you are one of the brightest men I have ever known. And you know that this is the most unjust and brutal war in our history. Shall I tell you what it is, Damon? You're 50 and you're frightened. What did they give you, Damon? A place in the administration? Did they give you a grant? Black boys are killing and being killed for nothing at all. And no one is speaking out, Damon, no one. People we've always read about, people we've admired. Not one black leader, not Roy Wilkins, not Senator Brooks, not Ralph Bunche, not Carl Rowan, no one. One day we're going to look back and we'll see that the worst crime against black people is this Vietnam War. By that time, no one will remember, will they? But you remember, Damon. You will.
Daley's willing to give us a commission on open housing. He doesn't want another Marquette Park either.
Well, this is what we started out for, but no one else could have gotten it.
You know, I can't forget those faces in Marquette Park. People from Mississippi should come up here to learn how to hate.
You knew it wasn't only in the South.
No, I didn't know the extent of it here. What is it in the American people that makes it so necessary to hate? I mean, why is it necessary to look down on someone? Can't they see that the more progress that we make, the better it is for them? I mean, we all fighting the same battle.
We accept the conditions. No more marches, open houses?
Yes, yes.
It's a beginning. It's a victory in a way.
No, it's a defeat. You can tell others it's a victory, but it's a defeat, and we know it. Old Daly's outmaneuvered us. But we'll be back.
We are at the moment when our lives must be placed on the line if our nation is to survive its own folly. The war in Vietnam is just a symptom of a far deeper malady within the American spirit. I am convinced that we, as a nation, must undergo a revolution of values. We must rapidly begin to change from a thing-oriented society to a person-oriented society. When machines and computers, profit motives, and property rights are considered more important than people, then we are in deep trouble. True compassion is more than flinging a coin at a beggar. A true revolution of values will look uneasily on the glaring contrast of poverty and wealth. A true revolution of values will lay hands on the world order and say of war, this way of settling differences is not just. This business of burning human beings with napalm, filling our nation's homes with orphans and widows, of injecting poisonous drugs of hate into the veins of people normally humane, sending them home from dark and bloody battlefields, physically handicapped and psychologically deranged, cannot be reconciled with wisdom, justice, and love. A nation that continues, year after year, to spend more money on military expense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual death.
I'm tired of hearing what's best for blacks and whites. Later for whites, now for us!
No. Oh, no. I'm not going to allow anybody to pull me so low as to use their methods to perpetuate evil throughout our system. I am sick and tired of violence. I'm tired of the war in Vietnam. I'm tired of hate. I'm tired of selfishness. I'm tired of evil. I'm not going to use violence, no matter who says so.
How's your day, darling? Your children out at work? Huh?
What you say?
I said your children at home?
I'm feeling good.
Oh, good. I'm glad to see you. Well, you're looking good, too.
Oh, thank you.
Good. What's your name again? Walker. Walter, that's right, that's right.
If only Congress could come down here and see what's happening. They're cutting back on food stamps and the soil bank program.
You know, Congress will never come down here, but maybe we can take these people to Congress.
What are you talking about?
Truly.
I'm talking about taking these people to Washington.
To Washington?
That's right. Be a hard, long trip. You know, it's a long way from Marks, Mississippi.
We can crawl, we can walk,
Yeah.
and then we can thaw a little while.
I know you get a ride quick as that, won't you?
That's right. Sure. Just when we gonna take this journey?
Well, it's going to take some planning and a lot of work on everybody's part. I mean, we all have to, like, pitch in. organized.
That's right.
And let everybody know why we're coming, understand what we're going there for.
That's true.
And we have to plan on how long we're going to stay.
That's true.
And it's not going to have to be a lot of camping out on the highway.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with that. When are y'all going to leave?
Well, we're going to leave, Marks. Probably tonight, aren't we?
Yeah.
Aren't we?
Yeah, we're leaving tonight.
Yeah, we're going to go on up the road a bit and see some more people. Then we're going to push on.
Come back and gather us up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all be going to Washington. That's what you're going to do.
Get out of Marks.
I'm ready to.
The Poor People's Campaign will be drawn from Roxbury in Boston to Lawndale in Chicago, from Marks in Mississippi to Wheeling in West Virginia to Hollister in California. The campaign will consist of not only blacks, but Indians, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, poor whites, Appalachians.
Dr. King, what do you intend to accomplish by this?
We plan to place the problem of the poor at the seat of government of the wealthiest nation in the history of mankind. Now, if that government fails to acknowledge its debt to the poor, then it will have failed to have lived up to its promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness of its citizens. And we intend to stay in Washington until they do live up to it.
Don't you think you get a great deal of criticism? There's a lot of backlash about the dangers of a welfare state.
These people want jobs, not handouts.
What are you going to do about the instance of violence in the Capitol?
There will be no incidents of violence.
The whole concept of nonviolence is being questioned, even by your own people.
If I'm the last person in this country to speak for nonviolence, then I will be that person.
What in the hell are you doing in here? It's raining like hell out there. You know the rules. You're not allowed to hang out in here. They just wanted to get in out of the rain. But that's against the rules. Black garbage workers in Memphis can't stand in the office when it rains.
What about their families?
They're not entitled to any kind of compensation. The families get nothing.
Andy, Gene was just telling us about those two men who were killed in Memphis.
We tried to march on Monday. We went down to have a demonstration on Main Street at the Mason Temple. They maced us.
They want me to come, thank you.
Can't do it. We're scheduled to arrive in Washington on the Poor People's March on the 20th.
All we want him to do is just go downtown, give a speech down there, and go back to the airport. It shouldn't take more than an hour and a half.
Martin, we shouldn't take any detours. We have enough on our hands.
It would be the biggest thing in their lives.
When were you planning it?
Wednesday.
We don't have time to prepare security.
There's no problem with security. Martin. The detective's ready. Follow me. I'll get you finished.
Years. Just 12 years. Could he bounce back again, or had it been one time too many?
What is this, a wake? Oh, I'm hungry. Corey, why don't you fix us something to eat?
You know, the scariest time for me was in Philadelphia when you asked me to say that prayer.
Oh, you said it with your eyes open?
I'm afraid I did, Brother Young. And then you said, who knows, the murders of Goodman, Cheney, and Swerner might be somewhere near. And they said, we're right behind you.
You know, I think the worst time for me was Chicago. Well, we marched about 5 miles that day, didn't we, Ralph? Yes. Well, they had at least 4,000 policemen trying to protect us, but I tell you, every time you looked around, somebody was getting their nose broken. Yes. Well, we had to go down this narrow street with all these trees standing up over it, and the policemen went on ahead, and they were shooting up in the air, calling the people, come on, get out of there, come on, get out of them trees. But you know, they're up in them trees to try to shoot us, don't you know? Well, all of a sudden, there was a boom. And you saw 4,000 policemen duck down, all together, all at once. I never forget that.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Andy. Did you talk to Martin?
No, I haven't talked to him. It's impossible.
He said he would come.
He can't say no, and I think it's wrong for you to press him. We gave you a march, and it almost killed us.
Andy, nonviolence is on trial now.
We'll have to vindicate it somewhere else.
Hello, this is ML. Now, when is that march?
Friday.
I'll be there.
We're thinking about changing the whole country. You can't go back to Memphis. It's an unnecessary risk.
And you and I know that nonviolence is on trial in Memphis, Sandy. Besides, they're expecting me. I can't disappoint them, now can I?
They're garbage collectors.
And that's why it's important that we go down there.
I'm frightened for you.
And I'm frightened, too. You know, you never get over being frightened. You think you do, but it's always there around some corner waiting for you. Waiting to engulf you, and you have no control over it. But the only thing we ever had to fight with, the only thing any of us ever had to fight with, was to say, I'm not afraid. Do with us what you want. We're going on. And once we said that, there was no weapon that could stop us. So we can't be afraid now.
See, Tony? I told you you'd get to Fun Town. What do you want to go on?
I gotta make up my mind.
How about a candy apple? Oh, one of those fun. Yeah, over there. Come on, let's go. Come on, don't you know? Yeah.
I want to go on this one. Martin, what are you doing? You know you can't ride on those things without getting sick.
He wants to ride. You want to go?
Oh, no, not me. I don't want to ride on it.
What about you, Yogi?
almost missed you.
What are you doing?
I want to go with you.
All right. Come on. Here, put this in the back. Sit up in front with me. Yeah. Why didn't you call? You would have had somebody to pick you up. Oh,
Looks like an armed camp. Jerry, I want to speak to those boys who pushed Martin.
Why is it you were never interested in the strike before? The guys got me interested in it. Why did you push Dr. King for? Do you like pushing him? No. At home, they think of him as Jesus Christ. Is that how you reward him? You push him? Dr. King, you have to understand, No, he's not going to understand. None of us are going to understand what you and the others were doing there.
We were paid.
You were paid. By whom?
I don't know.
Those two men were murdered. We've got to do something. Harold, you're a Bowen loner. Why were you interested in that strike? We've got to do some fighting, not marching. Fight. Don't give me that stuff. The only thing you give a damn about is your own precious behind. A Morehouse man, an honors degree, and you care about garbage workers? Don't make me laugh. What the hell is this? An inquisition? What right do you have to bring? George talked. Stupid. Who paid you? Who paid you to interrupt that march?
Don't tell people around here. They think he's the Lord God Almighty.
Who was it?
The FBI.
Okay, get him in the other room.
They have him at a lot of demonstrations. I'm not the only one.
Maybe we should get out of Memphis.
And go where? You think it's going to be different anyplace else?
I'll tell
Hey.
I've read.
What you doing?
Security.
What went wrong the last time?
I don't know. But nothing's gonna go wrong this time. I know everybody who travels with King. I know the cars. I know their license numbers. Anything looks wrong, I'll know about it.
Going to the meeting tonight?
Sure. Might have a chance to hear him speak.
I'm on marching a demonstration tomorrow.
You're shot.
In a minute. You may lose your job.
I don't care. I know what they're fighting for. I know they're right.
Hey, Wilson. Mechanic's here to work on your rig.
Hey, Dan. You and I and Fred are the only black men here. We're the only ones who give a damn about him. Let me know if you hear anything, will you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you get your flowers?
No.
I was downtown picking up a suit and...
Don't tell me you broke down and bought a suit.
Well, there's this florist next door, and that man swore that he was going to deliver those flowers right away.
Maybe that's them now. Well, I got them.
Good.
They're beautiful, Martin. But they're artificial. I thought you didn't like artificial flowers.
I just wanted to give you something that would last.
I'm very sorry Doc King can't be here tonight. He's tired and preparing for march on Friday. Martin.
Hello, Ralph.
Hey, listen, you better come over here.
Why, what happened?
They want
Ralph, I told you I wasn't going to speak tonight.
you. If you don't come over here, they're gonna come over there and get you.
You gotta be kidding. Nobody's there in this kind of weather.
No. Listen to this.
All right, I'll be right over.
You know, several years ago, I was in New York City, where I was stabbed. The tip of the blade was on the edge of the aorta of my heart. And once that's punctured, you know, you drown in your own blood. That's the end of you. If I had merely sneezed, I would have died. Well, a letter came from a little girl. And it said simply, "Dear Dr. King, I'm a 9th grade student at the White Plains High School." And she went on to say that while it should not matter, I would like to mention that I'm a white girl. And I'm simply writing you to say that I am so happy that you didn't sneeze. Well, I want to say to you tonight that I, too, am happy that I didn't sneeze. Yeah. Because if I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been around here in 1961 when we decided to take a ride for freedom and ended segregation and interstate travel. If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been around here in 1963 when the black people in Birmingham, Alabama, desegregated the most powerful industrial city in the South. If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been down in Selma, Alabama, to see a great movement rouse the conscience of this nation, which made it possible to make a voting rights bill so that black people could vote and change the history of this country. If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been in Memphis to see a community rally around its sanitation brothers and sisters who are suffering. Because garbage workers are as important as anybody. They have dignity, and they have worth. Now, today we have come into Memphis, and some things have happened. There's talk about what might happen to me from some of our sick white brethren. Well, I don't know what's going to happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it doesn't matter to me now because I've been to the mountaintop. And I don't mind, like anybody, I would like to live a long long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I have seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we, as a people, will get to the promised land. You know, I'm happy tonight. I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Hello?
Hudson, this is headquarters. Tomorrow's your day off, isn't it?
That's right.
We're transferring you to Station 8 Friday.
8?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Fred?
Yeah?
This is headquarters. You're transferred to 11 tomorrow.
Why?
Those are the orders.
It's 11:30. I've never been transferred at 11:30 before. Is anything the matter?
Nope.
Well, why the transfer? We're short down there.
Those are the orders.
Now it's time for our morning interview with our guest.
Holloman wants to see you.
I'm on security here.
He said right away.
Where's Fred?
He's transferred. Come on, let's go.
Come on in, Ed.
Chief, what's happening?
This man's from the government. There's been a threat made on your life. He just flew in from Washington. He has information that there's a contract out of St. Louis on you. Now, I've made reservations at a motel to take you and your family there for safety, so there'll be no problem.
Let him stay at home. And I'll stay on the street. Or better yet, at the fire station.
No. I take care of my men. I'm relieving you from your duty. Bailey, Anderson?
Look, I'm not going to the motel. If they're gonna get me, let them get me on the street and let my family be safe.
All right. Whatever you say. But for your protection, Bailey and Anderson will go with you. You're a good man, Ed. We don't want to lose you.
This is an order.
Martin? 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 Hey, Martin! Hey, man! What's the matter with you?
Why did you call it? How many times must we tell you got to check in?
I was downtown seeing about the injunction.
I don't care about that. You got to let the leader know what's happening, man. Bernard and I will come down there and pull you out of that coat and call you everything but a child of God. What's the matter? Your finger broke? Couldn't borrow a dime from somebody?
No, Martin, don't tickle me, please. Hey, Martin, don't tickle me now. Come on, Martin. No, don't tickle me, Martin. Come on, fellas. Come on, man. Martin, don't tickle me. No, I'm not tickling.
I'm gonna knock the black off. Oh! Wait a minute.
I'll get you. No, that's it. That's it. That's it. Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. 80 helmet. Helmet. Raise a net big. Have him turn him. Turn him. I was back. Get his coins. That's where get his coins. Get his coins.
I thought it was the end. Really the end. I mean, him sitting there with flunk on his show. I'm telling you, I've never seen him bounce back like that. To come out of a complete state of depression.
Ben! Hello! Hey, Martin, you know Ben? Ben Branch used to live in Memphis.
Yes, my man. How are you, Ben?
Hi, Doc.
Listen, I want you to play Precious Lord Take My Hand for me tonight on the organ and play it real pretty, will you?
I sure will, Doc.
All right.
It's getting pretty cold, Dr. King. You better need a coat.
Yeah, it is kind of airy tonight, isn't it?
Doc, I've got the car. I can carry 5 or 6 with me.
All right.
Say something tonight about the Poor People's Campaign. Come on, Martin, quit horsing around.
Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! He's gonna get... Yeah. Oh, God! God!
Get an ambulance!
Get an ambulance! Hey, somebody! Get an ambulance! Get an ambulance!
What is wrong?
Get an ambulance! Get an ambulance!
Yeah. I feel something.
Just... He's gonna be all right, isn't he? He's gonna be all right. Won't he? He'll be all right. He'll be all right, isn't he? He's gonna be all right. He's gonna be all right. He's gonna be hell. What happened? I don't get it.
Somebody get AD!
Get that operator! Get the ambulance! Get the ambulance! Get that ambulance!
I can't reach the operator! I can't get ambulance! Somebody got it! I can't reach the... Somebody got it! My God! Somebody call an ambulance! Get an ambulance! I can't reach the ambulance! Operator!
Get out! Stop!
AD, please!
Somebody!
For God's sake, get the ambulance, man! Where did the shots come from?
Make room. Let us take care of him.
No, we'll take care of him. We'll take care of him.
Get his leg easy.
What's up with his head? I got his head.
Careful.
I got it. It's all right.
Watch his legs.
Come on, let's go. Put his legs in there.
Go. All right,
Let's
be safe.
Come on, let's go.
Okay, Stanford.
Watch that corner.
We got it. We got it.
Go.
Hello?
Loretta, Doc's been shot. Why don't you take the next plane here? Bring someone with you. We're at St. Joseph's Hospital.
Is it bad?
He's not dead.
What is it?
This is an NBC News Hotline special report.
Don't tell me! Don't tell me!
Luther King was shot outside a Memphis hotel this evening. His condition not immediately known, but he was taken to a hospital. Lou Wood, NBC News, New York.
I'm going to Memphis.
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Fine. Nancy, give me some chest leads. Blood pressure. EKG lead. Let's get a pressure cuff over there. Let's get a blood pressure over there. EKG hooked up. Start massage.
You can't stand here. Now you're gonna have to go.
Your business is at that table. Don't worry about us. We're not gonna leave.
Come on, come on.
I'm sorry. We've lost him.
I had to go and take just one more look.
Dr. King! Dr. King! Why didn't God take me instead of Dr. King?
Thomas Hudson and I were transferred. Now, they have excuses for why they did it that'll never hold up. Just don't happen like that. It just don't happen that way. They'll never make me believe it was coincidental. I should have stayed there no matter what. I should have stayed.
Mrs. King, please check for a message at the information desk in the main lobby.
Mrs. King! Mrs. King!
Miss King?
Tell me.
Dr. King is dead.
It's my sad duty to tell you, your son is dead. He died at 8:30.
He always told me it would come.
It was my greatest wish that I would go before him. Tell us, Mother.
Where you going, AD?
Well, I'm going to talk to him important.
What are you going to say to him, AD?
I want to talk to him. I want to speak to him. I'm going to tell him how I feel about my brother. I want to talk to him. I want to tell him how I feel about the way they killed my brother. I want to tell him what white America did to my brother. I want you to...
You don't want to do that, AD. Come on.
Come on. Show me. Come on. I want you to listen to this. I want to tell you what they did. I don't care. They killed my brother. He didn't want you. He wouldn't want you to. Emil never could keep his head out the way of the bat. He never could hit with the damn. He always had a heart. Always had a heart. Where's daddy? Does daddy know about this? Does daddy know about it? Did you see what happened? What they do? Did you see what they look like? Oh, what happened? Where's my brother? No, wait, where's my brother? No, damn it! No, let me just tell him. One time I want to tell you, you killed my brother. He always loved people. He took care of them. He took care of people. He always liked people.
Sure you want to go through this?
I don't want any autopsy notes destroyed the way they were in Dallas.
It isn't all of him, A.D. It isn't all of him. What is it?
There comes a time when people get tired of being trampled over by the iron feet of oppression. When people get tired of being flung across the abyss of humiliation, where they experience the bleakness of nagging despair. I have a dream today. And when we let freedom reign, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing the words of that old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last. But it doesn't matter to me now because I've been to the mountaintop. And I've looked over and I have seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we, as a people, will get to the promised land.